Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning. The house is quiet. The alarm clock doesn't ring anymore. You're 65. You've officially retired. No more commuting, no more meetings, no more bosses. For the first time in decades, you're free. But then, later that afternoon, you sit down at your kitchen table, you open your retirement account, and you stare at one number, $247,000. Maybe it's $198,000. Maybe it's $132,000. Maybe it's just under $250,000. And suddenly, that freedom doesn't feel as comfortable anymore. Because a question starts echoing in your mind. Is this enough? Not for 1 year, not for 5 years, but for the rest of your life. Here's the truth that most financial advisors won't say clearly enough. If you have less than $250,000 saved at 65, you are walking a very thin financial line. Not because you failed, not because you didn't work hard, but because retirement today is more expensive, more unpredictable, and longer than it has ever been in history. And in the next hour, I'm going to show you exactly what that number really means, the biggest mistakes retirees make, how long your money might actually last, and most importantly, what you must do immediately to protect yourself. This is not a fear video, this is a clarity video, because clarity creates control, and control creates peace. Let's begin. First, we need to talk about time. At 65 years old, the average life expectancy in the United States is around 84 for men and 87 for women. Many people live into their 90s. That means your retirement could last 20 to 30 years. Think about that. You are not retiring for a short break. You are entering a 25-year financial marathon. Now let's do simple math. If you have $250,000 saved and you need it to last 25 years, that equals $10,000 per year. That's before taxes, before emergencies, before inflation. That's about $833 per month. Ask yourself honestly, can you live on $833 per month comfortably? Maybe you also have Social Security. Maybe you have a small pension. But here's where things get dangerous. Most retirees underestimate 3 major forces: inflation, healthcare costs, and unexpected life events. Inflation quietly eats your purchasing power every single year. What costs $1,000 today might cost $1,300 in 10 years. And if your money isn't growing fast enough, you are slowly losing ground. Then comes healthcare. After 65, medical expenses increase dramatically. Doctor visits, prescription drugs, specialists, hospital stays. One unexpected surgery can cost tens of thousands of dollars. And here's the painful reality. It only takes one major medical event to destroy years of careful saving. That's why this number, $250,000, is not just a number. It's a responsibility, and how you handle it from this point forward determines everything. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake retirees make. They believe the hardest part is over. They think, I made it to retirement. I survived my working years. Now I can relax. Yes, you should relax, but you should not become careless. Because at 65, you no longer have one powerful advantage. time to recover from big financial mistakes. If you lose $50,000 at 40, you can work another 20 years and rebuild. If you lose $50,000 at 70, rebuilding is much harder. This is why protection becomes more important than growth. Many retirees make the mistake of chasing high returns. They invest in risky stocks. They follow hot tips. They believe one big investment will fix everything. But at this stage of life, stability is more important than excitement. Your goal is not to double your money quickly. Your goal is to make sure it lasts. Now let's talk about withdrawals. There's a common strategy called the 4% rule. It suggests withdrawing 4% of your retirement savings per year to make it last about 30 years. On $250,000, that equals $10,000 per year. But here's what people forget. The 4% rule assumes steady market returns. It assumes no severe downturn at the beginning of retirement. And if the market drops early in your retirement, withdrawing the same amount can accelerate losses. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it has destroyed many retirement plans. So what should you do instead? First, build a clear monthly budget, not an estimate, not a guess, a detailed breakdown. Know exactly your housing costs, your utilities, your groceries, insurance, transportation, health care, personal spending. When you know your real numbers, fear decreases. Uncertainty creates anxiety. Clarity creates strategy. Now I want to talk about something uncomfortable: adult children. Many retirees quietly drain their savings helping their children financially, paying rent, covering debt, helping with down payments. There is nothing wrong with helping family, but not at the cost of your own survival. Because if you run out of money at 80, your children may not be financially ready to support you. Retirement requires tough boundaries. You must protect yourself first. Another major issue is housing. Many retirees stay in homes that are too large and too expensive. High property taxes, maintenance costs, repairs, insurance. Sometimes downsizing is not about giving up comfort, it's about buying peace of mind. A smaller home can free up cash, lower stress, lower expenses, more flexibility. Freedom in retirement does not come from size, it comes from sustainability. Now let's address fear. If you are watching this and thinking, I should have saved more, stop. Regret does not grow money, action does. You cannot change the past, but you can control your next decision. And at 65, the next decision matters more than ever. In the next part of this video, we're going to go deeper. We're going to talk about how long $250,000 might actually last in different scenarios. What happens during inflation spikes, how to build income streams safely, and the mindset shift that separates secure retirees from struggling ones. Because retirement is not just about numbers, it's about discipline, and the difference between panic and control. Take a deep breath. You are not alone, and this is fixable. We're just getting started. Because now we need to talk about something most retirees never calculate correctly: what actually happens over time. Let's imagine two different retirees. Both are 65 years old. Both have $250,000 saved. Both retire this year. But their futures look completely different. Why? Because of decisions. Retiree number 1 withdraws $20,000 per year. It feels reasonable. It helps maintain their lifestyle. It covers small luxuries. But at that rate, their savings may last only 12 to 15 years. By 78 or 80, the account could be nearly empty. Now imagine being 80 years old, energy lower, health uncertain, job opportunities limited, and your savings are almost gone. That is not a comfortable position. Now let's look at retiree number 2. They withdraw $10,000 to $12,000 per year. They reduce expenses slightly. They eliminate debt. They avoid risky investments. Their money grows modestly in safe allocations. Their savings last much longer, not because they had more money, but because they had more discipline. This is the quiet secret of retirement security. Small decisions compound, just like interest. Now let's talk about inflation more seriously. If inflation averages 3% per year, your cost of living doubles roughly every 24 years. That means if you need $40,000 per year today, in 20 years you may need over $60,000 for the same lifestyle. But your savings? They don't automatically adjust. This is why sitting on cash without strategy can be dangerous. But chasing high returns is also dangerous. So what is the balance? The balance is protection with modest growth. At 65, you are no longer in the accumulation phase. You are in the preservation phase. Your mindset must shift from, how much can I make, to, how long can I last? Now I want you to imagine something else. An unexpected medical event at 72, a hospital stay, rehabilitation, special equipment at home. Even with insurance, out-of-pocket costs could reach tens of thousands. If you withdraw heavily during that time, and markets are down, your portfolio takes a double hit. This is called a financial shock, and retirees with smaller savings are more vulnerable. That's why emergency reserves are critical, even in retirement. Having 6 to 12 months of expenses in liquid, safe cash can prevent forced withdrawals during bad markets. Now let's talk about risk. Many retirees become either too aggressive or too conservative. Too aggressive. They invest heavily in volatile assets hoping for fast growth. Too conservative. They move everything into cash earning almost nothing. Both extremes can hurt you. The key is balance, diversification, income-producing assets, and a withdrawal strategy that adapts to market conditions. But beyond strategy, there is something even more important: psychology. Retirement changes your identity. For decades, your paycheck validated your effort. Now, instead of earning money, you are spending it. That shift feels uncomfortable. Watching your account balance decrease every month can create anxiety, even if it's planned, even if it's sustainable. This emotional stress causes many retirees to make irrational decisions. They panic sell during downturns, or they overspend trying to enjoy life now. Both reactions come from fear, and fear is expensive. So here's a powerful mindset shift. Your money is not disappearing. It is doing its job. Many retirees quietly compare themselves to others. Friends who saved more, neighbors who travel constantly, relatives who seem financially relaxed. Comparison creates shame, and shame leads to bad decisions. You might overspend to keep up, or invest aggressively to catch up. But retirement is not a competition. It is a sustainability.